So, we had a baby, 2K21. So, my experience was quite different, I think, than most people's would be. The true story. I was not feeling good at my 35-week appointment, and I was getting NSTs 2 times a week, and I had an infection going on in my downstairs, which was unpleasant, but like, you know, I was dealing with it, taking antibiotics, and, you know, I just wasn't feeling good. I was feeling like crap. I was having a lot of contractions, a lot of painful contractions at night. Never 4 within an hour, but like 3 within an hour a couple times. And, so I had my NST. That's the neonatal stress test, where they hook you up to the monitors and they check on the baby and monitor your contractions and do all those things. And my doctor happened to be in the office, and I was like, hey, you know, I'm not feeling too good. Like, can you maybe check me out? Like, I haven't felt good in like a few days. It's been bad, and like I'm having these contractions, and, you know, I feel like crap, you know. And of course, my doctor's awesome, and she's like, yeah, I'll check you out. Do you want me to check you? And, you know, do you want us to do a Group B strep test on you right now? Because you should wait, you know, it could be waited out until the 36th week. And I was like, yeah, can you please check me? Like, let's just see where we're at. So, my doctor checks me in office, and little boy here, his head was barreling down my, my cervix, and I was already at 4 centimeters dilated. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be stuck like this for the next, like, 3 or 4 weeks. And she's like, absolutely not, we're not doing that. So I had lost the baby in January and almost bled to death. And so I did not wish to labor with this little baby here, especially because having 2 pregnancies in 1 calendar year, I was very worried that something was going to happen to me. Plus, I had this infection on top of everything else. I didn't want to push him out. So we decided to go ahead and do a C-section. My doctor's awesome. And so we, you know, it was a really busy day. It was October 22nd, 2021. It was very busy for whatever reason. Everybody was getting C-sections that day. So I had to wait my turn. I had to wait my place. I had met with, you know, my nurses, and everybody was fine, and we were all on the same page. I was extremely anxious and worried. I mean, having a 2nd trimester fetal demise, I mean, you just go into it with this level of anxiety that's like beyond anything I think I've ever experienced before in my life. I was really grateful that I had my team there, and I had my husband there, and, you know, those of you know, like, my family's a bunch of shitheads, so I didn't have anybody from my family there, but maybe it was for the better, because they probably would have stressed me out anyway. But I had my mother-in-law there, and, you know, everybody was waiting to hear the news. I was very grateful that I had that experience. So anyway, they numb me up, they wheel me back, they numb me up, and, you know, they have Cameron wait in the little waiting room area. And we were both a nervous wreck. I mean, 35 weeks is a late term baby, but still premature. A late premature baby, but still, you know, 35 weeks is, he should have been cooking for a little while longer. So we were worried. We were nervous. We were scared. I know that I was terrified that something was going to be wrong, or he wasn't going to be breathing, or something like that. But luckily, none of that happened. He did have to go to the NICU right after he was born, for some grunting while he was breathing. And, you know, so we managed to get that under control. He was in and out of the NICU within a couple days, actually, and we were very blessed. You know, it all happened so fast. You know, I went from being pregnant and in pain and worried every day, every second of every hour of my life. And, you know, was that a contraction? Did I feel him move? I need to drink water. My diabetes was messing up. Like, everything was just way overwhelming. In addition to, like, my life in general right now, it's very overwhelming. To, like, being just overjoyed, but then also very worried, too. I didn't want my baby to go to the NICU, but I had a feeling that he was going to have to go for a little while. We had planned on him staying there for weeks. We were like, oh no, you know, we're going to have to be there for a long time because he's so little and all these things. We got to go home within the weekend. So I had the baby on Friday. We went home on Monday. And it was incredible. It was an incredible experience. I was very grateful. You know, I met with lactation. We were pumping up a storm for him. We tried to get him to latch a couple times. A little too lazy, a little too small. His cheekies weren't big enough yet. And, you know, we went along our journey there and we got to take him home. So right here, this is Julian, Mr. Sleepy Pants. We had an interesting breastfeeding journey. I had planned to exclusively breastfeed like I did with my daughter for as long as I could. But, you know, he was too little to latch, so we had kind of an issue there. But I was pumping up a storm and eating all my oatmeal to bulk up my supply and eating a lot of, you know, healthy, rich in calorie foods, peanut butter, things like that. And, when we took him to the pediatrician, because we had been noticing he was really colicky, like really straining, really grunty, turning into a tomato. His tomato mode was activated, which is what we like to call when he turns all red and angry. And, you know, we told our pediatrician, he was, you know, when he was born, he was 5 pounds, 15.9 ounces. They rounded up to 6 pounds even and 19 inches long. When we took him to his first appointment, he was 5 pounds, 5 ounces the 2 days after we got out of the hospital. And then the next visit, he was 5 pounds, 11 ounces. So we were like, you know, I really hope that, like, you know, we can get you bulking up. So the following appointment, the one where we were talking about the grunting and the straining and the tomato mode being activated, he was 7 pounds, 4 ounces. And I'm like, great, my breast milk is pumping him up. Like, he's gaining weight. He's doing good. And then they tested his poopy diaper, and it came back positive for blood. Not bright red blood, but, like, microscopic blood. And I had a couple options. I could either completely and utterly cut out dairy from my life, which is damn near impossible, by the way, because it literally fucking salad dressing has dairy in it. Ridiculous. Or give him this other mix of formula. So I had pretty much mourned the loss of my breastfeeding journey from there on out. I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to cut dairy out of my diet, because when I did cut dairy out of my diet, my supply said, deuces, I'm out of here. So my supply dried up very quickly, and I was like, oh man, you know, that's unfortunate, you know, because I can't give him dairy. So I probably wasn't eating enough calories to sustain breastfeeding anyway. I was drinking enough water, but I wasn't eating enough to, you know, because a lot of stuff that I own has dairy in it, you know. So we decided to try to change him over to this Nutramigen brand formula, which is very expensive. And his first bottle, he struggled to eat it and then projectile vomited all over me. I'd never seen something like that before in my life. I was very terrified. None of my children have ever projectile vomited like that on me. I had not seen that before. I was so scared. We rushed him to the emergency room, had him get tested. He had to get a catheter in his little wee-wee and blood work and an IV, and it was such a freaking long night, and I was so scared that he wasn't eating, and they did an ultrasound on his intestines, because I'm like, what if it's necrotizing enterocolitis? Like, what if it's all these things? Because his little guts are, you know, immature. He was a premature baby. And his test came back all fine, and they sent us home. And I just said, okay, well, I'm going to just cut dairy out, you know, even harder. I'm going to, like, cut oats out and nuts and, you know, peanut butter and gluten. Like, I had started cutting literally everything out of my diet. And my supply even dried up even further. Like, it was, like, gone. Like, my breasts were done with me and done with him and done with breastfeeding. So, we, you know, tried to push on, and we tried to give him, you know, this other formula, and so since then he's been actually doing pretty good on it. He's eaten us out of a house and home, because sometimes he eats a lot, sometimes he eats a little, and sometimes he busts out of his swaddle and the little hand is coming up right now. Boom. You know, it's been a journey, but he is truly a blessing. We could not be happier with how everything turned out. He sleeps during the day, which is great for, you know, me having Cameron not here and working full time, but At night, would be nice if he would get a little bit more sleep from me, but he doesn't. But that's okay. He is absolutely adorable. He looks like a nice mix of me and his daddy. And Cameron is over the moon happy. And a lot of people have asked me how Selena feels about him. She's ecstatic, but I don't have the ability to show her on camera right now. So that just goes to show you what I'm kind of going through. I can kind of only barely touch on that right now. But hopefully that will change soon. But yeah, this is Julian. Little baby Julian. Julian Roger. He's super, super cute. We can't decide who he looks more like, but I know that he's got his daddy's hands because mommy's hands don't look like that. But yeah, I just want to briefly touch on that and, you know, let you guys know what's been going on in my life. We have a brand new baby. Little smile there, huh? Yes. We love him so much, and although we're exhausted, we've never been happier to be so tired. So, thank you for everybody who was, you know, wishing us good thoughts and prayers, and we all appreciate you guys so much for the support. Everybody who's been with us on this journey from IVF to losing that baby to having another baby and then bringing him home. So, we'll talk to you guys later on our milestones and updates. But say bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye.